Beverages with Brad.
Welcome to the show. This is by far the most unprofessional show you've ever been on, and you've probably done public access.
Yes, we have. Yeah,
you have. I figured you had.
Absolutely. But no, this is the fun part. Because what else am I going to do at 2:30 in the afternoon?
I'm sorry I couldn't hang like a gray curtain behind you. And welcome to Beverages with Brad, by the way. This is my guest, Barbara Fenton-Fung.
Yeah, Barbara Ann Fenton-Fung, which is the longest name in politics right now.
Six names.
It's really. I get a story. It's ridiculous at this point too.
I used to know absolutely nothing about politics, and now I know.
Yep.
Now I know almost nothing about politics, and I miss the days where I knew absolutely nothing.
It's scary right now, right? There's so much going on.
The more I learn, the more I am scared, yes.
And I think that's why you kind of get involved once you learn, because you realize, like, what's going on up there. You think that, wow, I can make better decisions in what's going on.
I mean, I don't know if I could.
You could.
You probably could. What?
It takes a little studying, but I mean, it's pretty scary when you see how much of your money they're wasting.
Yeah, I don't think I want to know that.
Yeah. And it makes a difference because it'll just, if nobody stops, it'll keep adding up. So we're a tiny, tiny state, and our budget is over $10 million. So that's a lot of money that you pay out of your paycheck every single week. And are they using it? You're
assuming I have a job.
You will one day.
Thanks for believing in me. Thank you.
I'm like your mom right now.
Yeah.
We'll get you there.
I think my mom gave up on me years ago. Yeah.
Well, then Alan and I will be your adoptive parents.
Oh, that would be great. That would be awesome.
You get the Chinese father you never knew you had.
Yeah, well, that's great because I've always been a big Bruce Lee fan, and I would like him to.
With his nunchucks.
If Alan could teach me some Wing Chun, I'd be very appreciative.
These are the nunchucks that you never. You always tease him with. Your show with Mike Murray at night.
That's right, and I do have nunchucks at the house. So.
Alan doesn't.
I knew this was going to be all over the place. He doesn't have any weapons at home?
No.
Not even any shurikens? You know what that is?
No, I actually don't.
It's a very official term for a Chinese star.
Oh, okay. All right.
You learned something today.
There you go, right? Thank you. That's it for today,
think
right?
That a failing comedian was going to teach you something during an interview at a coffee shop in front of a brick wall. I wanted a nice layout for you. We're all over the place already, which I had a feeling was going to happen, but I did want to ask you to explain the position you're running for and why you decided to run.
So I'm running for state rep, which there's 75 state reps across all of Rhode Island. I happen to live in the same district and I'm running against the guy who's the Speaker of the House, in Nick Mattiello. So if I win, I don't become Speaker right away. Okay, you just become one of the state reps and then we all vote on the next Speaker.
If you win, you get in the team.
Get in on the team.
But you're not like at the ultimate goal?
Right. You just don't get elected to Speaker just from the district type of thing.
So step one's get in the X-Men.
Get in the door. I mean, the guy I'm running against right now, in Nick, he's been there like better part of 2 decades.
So like you've had your time. It's time to try something else. Maybe golf or
Are you good at golf? Are you good at golf?
No, I don't have the attention span for golf.
I'm really good at mini golf. All American.
That's way more fun.
Yeah, I'm like Mulligan's. That's one of my favorite mini golf courses.
Shout out to Mulligan's. Yes, they're not a sponsor of the show. I also am kind of upset that Diet Coke is so prominently.
Are you a Pepsi fan?
Well, no. I'm actually. I do like Coke. I don't like diet soda. I don't like the was it aspartame?
Aspartame.
It's disgusting.
Okay.
But
right.
my point is I don't mind. I have nothing against Coke. It's just that I feel like that they should be sponsoring the show for such a prominent display.
I think you should call Atlanta.
Yeah, I've actually been to the Coke factory in Atlanta. It was a fun experience.
Have you ever been to the Coke store in Vegas?
No, I feel like that's a different
store. I feel like I should say that.
I was like, that's a different kind of Coke for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I've never been to Atlanta actually. Of all the places, I used to live in Scotland and I used to live in Australia.
You lived in Scotland and Australia.
But I've never been to Atlanta.
All right, where's your favorite place you lived?
Scotland.
You're supposed to say Cranston because you're running for office.
Well, sure, but I mean like outside of here.
I was just joking. Scotland's probably so much nicer than Cranston.
Scotland is different. They work like just a couple hours a day.
Oh, see, that's my kind of place. I would fit in so well.
But they work really, really hard.
Oh, never mind.
And then everybody meets out at like the pub at night and whatnot. And,
that's cool.
And they're very happy people. You would. They're very honest. They're very loving. They love their traditions. They love their heritage. Just like Cranston, like we have all of our feasts, whether it's Maria de Prada, St. Mary's.
The
those are
difference is
parts.
they wear kilts and we wear gold chains with like popped collars. Is that the difference?
I'm not sure I want to see you in a kilt.
Yeah, or a gold chain. How long did you live in Scotland?
About a year.
What brought you out there?
Grad school.
Okay,
Yeah.
you did that in air quotes, so you just went out there to get drunk or something?
Oh, no. I studied hard.
Oh, okay.
I studied hard.
Okay.
But it's nice, too, because grad school, we could kind of mush all our classes into like 3.5 days, and then you got to travel a lot.
Okay.
It's really easy to travel out in Europe, especially back then. We would just hop on an EasyJet, and we'd be in Rome in like
What was the
an
favorite
hour.
place you went, that you visited?
London. London's my favorite.
London's your favorite.
They're a very,
Why?
very clean city.
Oh,
Very
okay.
clean city. I'm such a nerd.
Mm-hmm.
I love museums. I love going to, like you walk around London and they're like, oh, that building's about 1,000 years old. You know what I mean? And it's just one of those things you're like, wow, this is really cool. You stumble upon history every 5
So you
seconds.
feel like you learned a lot out there.
I did. It's
Were
a lot
people
of fun.
snobby in London? I would expect them to be snobby.
No.
Snooty?
No, you think the voice.
The voice?
I bet that's why you think they're snooty. They're one of the most lovely people ever.
You mean the accent? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, they sound snobby, I
Yeah,
guess.
they're totally.
They're nice.
They're the most awesome people.
Yeah.
But yeah, even in Italy too, nicest people. When you get to travel around,
Basically, everybody's nicer everywhere in Europe is what you're telling me.
it's different. It's relaxed.
Everyone's
di-
relaxing.
Yeah, like we would be sitting out like this every single day.
So basically, it's a bunch of people like me, like unemployed comedians, sitting around sipping espresso, doing YouTube shows.
Absolutely,
I
it's
would
right in
fit-
front of the Pantheon, right in Rome.
I think I gotta move. I think that's what the moral of the story is. Yeah, I knew we were gonna get all over the place. Okay, so you're running.
I'm running.
And your husband, Alan Fung, the world famous Alan Fung,
Yes.
the
He really
the mayor
is.
of Cranston.
He is for the mayor for the next 3 months.
The next 3 months, and
And
then
then-
after that, it's just an all-out just party. He's going to be getting hammered every day, swinging from the
that's Alan.
chandeliers. He's going to go nuts. He's going to be doing like gangster rap
He
videos.
doesn't even drink anymore, so.
Well, after 3 months,
After-
we'll see. We'll see. You never
See
know.
how this
He
goes.
might be a totally different guy. We're going to see the real Alan Fung.
The real Alan Fung. The guy we were talking before the show, he really is the nicest, most wonderful human being ever.
So it's
And
not fake.
It's not fake.
Because I'll tell you, if he was really like a jerk, he's a great actor because he does seem like the nicest guy. If you were like on camera, like, my husband's actually an asshole.
And it's so funny too, because like we were talking before the show. I think we've gotten into 3 fights that I've known him 8 years.
Wow.
He really is. He's just.
Do you remember just one of the subjects that was a subject of contention?
No, it was so long ago. Look, my husband helps out with the laundry. He's a phenomenal cook. You should actually come over. We should do this one day with him cooking for you.
Could you cook for me and Mike? I know, Mike, that's
I
like
could
having
cook.
3 extra people, but I'm saying, could you cook for us?
If we're cooking Chinese, I'm leaving that to Alan.
Okay.
All right. If we're
Does he
cooking
cook
steaks in the barbecue. Oh yeah.
I want Chinese. If we're going to Alan Funk's house, I want Chinese.
Like I don't like some of the more traditional things like chicken's feet and stuff like that.
Chicken feet.
Yeah.
So we're going to go over and eat chicken's feet at
Well,
your
if
house.
you and Mike were there, we might do it.
That sounds disgusting, but I would do it just for the fun.
Evidently, it's wonderful.
Oh, you've never had it?
I've never had it.
What's the
I'm a
best
little
Chinese
scared.
food he cooks that you've eaten?
He makes a remarkable short rib, but that's not really like. It's a more Americanized Chinese.
And
type
does
of
he
thing.
put MSG in the food?
All over it?
What is MSG?
I have no idea.
It's
I actually
Chinese,
have no idea if he puts it on.
It's
So, yeah.
Chinese gluten, I think.
Okay.
I don't know what MSG is, but it's delicious, so I hope he has
I love their let's see, duck sauce. What else? We put duck sauce on everything.
it. Okay.
So.
I'm going to hold you to this. I
Okay,
want to go
absolutely.
For dinner.
We'll do a
I
whole
wanna go
show,
for
and
dinner.
Mike's gonna come too. Okay.
Mike has to come, absolutely. So he's almost done.
He's almost done.
Is he looking forward to being done, or is he like, kind of
No.
nervous because now what?
No, he's gonna miss every moment of this because let's put it this way: when he started, there was like the great floods that like overtook Warwick and Cranston.
Oh, I
and
remember that. I did a video out there.
It's pretty scary. You remember that? This whole city was under. Well, this part of the city down here towards
Yeah,
Warwick Mall
Warwick,
too.
down by the Warwick Mall.
It was.
all
Remember, I
flooded.
saw that for months. Okay,
Right.
so that's how he started out, and then he fixed all the finances. He got the city in the great spot, and now he leaves in the middle of a pandemic. So it's like
So
two
he'd
bookends there.
He'd rather stay and keep working.
I think he's worked really hard this year instead of worry about transitioning and stuff like that. He's really just working as hard as he can right to the end because he wants to turn the city over in as good a condition as it possibly can be in the middle of a pandemic. And that's hard.
Is there any way we can have him become president in November?
That would be
cool.
fun.
I would like that.
You know what? I wanted to run for the seat because when you learn a little bit about politics, you know how frustrating, you feel like you can fix some of these things, especially
Okay.
people who've been on the ground. You kind of know where the things are that you feel like could be easily fixed. Like I work in healthcare.
Okay.
So things like, I mean, you and I are healthy young people.
Obviously.
We don't have to worry.
You look at
Obviously. But I mean, when people are on certain types of prescription meds, they're extremely expensive. And so what can we do to lower that?
Okay.
Another thing that I'm really passionate about is the opioid epidemic. You know, we've seen too many people. This is going to be a bad year with everybody being stressed out, home for months at a time. This is on track to be one of the worst years.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm cutting you off. Do you ever see the numbers as far as, like, I always hear since COVID that, like, opioid use is up, suicides is up and all that, but, like, do you ever see the numbers
So they haven't
nationally?
coming out nationally. There was a New York Times article just last week.
Okay.
But even here in Rhode Island, I mean, I work at the hospital, and we've been seeing it for months now. More issues with alcohol abuse, more issues with narcotics abuse, and it's one of the hardest things to watch because it doesn't just affect that one person; it affects an entire family. And you think about the young kids sometimes, and these are definitely things that we want to work on. I don't think they're being worked on enough quite yet. So,
Give me an example of an idea of something that could be done to attack the opioid issue.
yeah, well, just think that you might not realize it. There's actually not enough inpatient detox beds here in this state. So, unfortunately, say you came in and you realized you had a problem and you were ready to go get help. Sometimes we don't have a bed to give you. Okay,
Wow.
that's becoming more and more the case now. And different treatment facilities, because of COVID, they don't have the same capacity. Everybody has to be spread out a little more, so of course you lose beds. And so,
In other words, because COVID has taken up so much of the attention of the medical field,
Yep.
oftentimes other issues are kind of left out. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, absolutely. And the ones that were kind of being left out already, it only gets worse. So those are definitely issues that we want to talk about and say, hey, look, we need to make sure that the different organizations that are working on the opioid and helping people detox and helping people get on a better path, that they have the resources they need to expand, never mind just a little bit of the contraction that we've seen here during COVID.
Okay.
So that's definitely, I mean, people don't realize it because everybody thinks Cranston, you know, especially on the western side here, but sometimes when you have more money, there's more likely to have some different kind of drugs. And the more affluent you are, sometimes we're seeing a trend towards more narcotics. So it's unfortunate. It's kind of something that doesn't get talked about a whole lot. We understand, you know, some people are embarrassed or whatnot, but I think we're doing a lot better. We're talking about mental health issues these days, and I think we're doing a lot better when we're talking about bringing, like, all right, you have a problem, let's help you fix it, okay? Instead of demonizing people.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a good question. Superhero hearing, so you can hear what happens.
You want to be the opposite of Mike Murray, basically.
You're horrible. I'm not saying that. Mike Murray's cochlear implants probably give him superhero hearing.
He does have bionic hearing now.
He is fantastic.
He's like Iron Man, basically.
Yeah, if I could be Iron Man, be able to hear what goes through some of the walls up at the State House, I
So
think
you
that would be fun.
want to know what the hell people are actually saying.
Yes!
That's what you want to do. You basically want to be like a spy.
Because you know, ooh, that'd be fun.
Maybe you're a Scottish agent. Maybe that's maybe you're
Probably
not
at
even.
my 6,
Maybe you're not even,
Fine.
that's why you want to run for office. You're infiltrating. I can't imagine. For some reason, I don't picture Scotland trying to infiltrate another
I
country.
can't, you know, they really just want to be left alone up there.
Rightfully so.
Their whiskey
Seems-
and their farms.
They seem
and,
like they
you
have
know,
things figured out over there.
they-
Yeah.
We'll go on the road one day. We'll
Yeah,
take you
let's-
up to the Royal Mile.
We'll do a
the
show in
whiskey tour.
Scotland.
You're asking all these questions now. I should be able to interview you and Mike.
I'm asking too many questions?
No, I'm just saying. I should be able to ask you.
You can ask me whatever you want.
What you
no one
know?
ever asks me. Nobody cares about me. Finally,
care
guess
about you.
Who cares what I have to say? Because I have a lot to say, Barbara.
All right. So, as a comedian, why, or what would you like to see change in the world of politics?
I wish it could just be like, hey, look, this is what I think
Yep.
politically.
And still be friends with somebody who thinks
And
differently?
you're like, yeah. Like, I've always, like, I don't know. Like, my grandparents always said, don't talk about politics and religion. And I always disagreed with them because, you know, I have religious thoughts, but I have friends. Like, I used to listen to a lot of, like, debates between theists and atheists, and I would be fascinated by the different perspectives. And I have friends that are Muslim, I have friends that are Catholic, I have friends that are Protestant, I have friends, you know what I mean? It's like, and I like to hear perspectives. So when I go into politics, and especially this year, I listen to a lot of political views.
Yep.
I'm fascinated. I find it interesting, but it's unfortunate that it's so divided.
It's
and
nasty
it's
right now,
so
huh?
nasty that it's like, I don't know, man. It's crazy. So I guess the long answer is, I don't know if everyone would just chill the hell out a little bit and like be a little bit more just clear. Like, this is what I think. Here's why I think it.
Yep.
Versus, oh, you disagree with me? Oh, that's because you're a racist and you should go to hell. It's like getting
the
like
nastiness
crazy.
Part, because politics is what happens on the fringes. And governing, if you're in government, it really happens in the middle. Okay, and kind of bringing every side together. And you always try to create a win-win. You don't want to have everybody lose all the time, because that doesn't help government function, doesn't help society function. But what you're talking about really is being an adult and being able to say, hey, look, you think the complete opposite way of me, okay? But I still like you as a friend, and that's cool. And just being able to have those conversations, because you want to learn. What you were just saying there is you want to learn more about this, that, religion, how you think, what's your take on the world. Yeah. That's awesome. That's how we should all be. But right now, if you don't agree with some people,
it's crazy.
It gets nasty. So what people do is they don't talk at all. You know what I mean? Like they just like kind of back away from it, and that's not helping us get to where we need to be.
Yeah. Well, it's weird. Like even like last week, a friend of mine and I were at my wife's volleyball game, and somehow we get talking.
Do you play volleyball?
No, I know I'm 9 feet tall, but I've never actually played volleyball.
Right.
My wife's like 4 feet tall, and she's the one that plays volleyball.
I love it.
So we were at the game and watching her, and we got talking a little bit about politics, and then afterwards she was done. She could kind of hear us, and like she was kind of a little uncomfortable, and I was like, oh geez, were we talking too loud?
Yeah.
Like talking in public about politics these days is crazy. It's like you're talking about something so vile and like divisive and offensive, and I was like, oh man, like, because him and I weren't even arguing or fighting or anything, but just the fact we were talking about it like made her uncomfortable. Then I felt embarrassed, like, oh no, maybe I shouldn't have been talking about that. And him and I weren't even fighting or anything.
No, and it's funny too, because when everybody comes up, and like Al and I, if we're at Twin Oaks, the normal Cranston powerhouse, or any restaurant
with all the mobsters,
and they'll say we don't want to talk politics, but they'll always ask us about
what's the deal with Trump? Do you love him?
They always want to know, because people really are interested, even though you're taught don't talk about religion and politics. People want to learn more. Okay, and they kind of look at Alan and I and be like, all right, like here's my chance to talk a little bit.
You must get in wicked uncomfortable conversations though, because you're sitting there and you're eating your ravioli, and then someone comes up with a MAGA hat and they're like, hey, and they want you to talk about it in front of the whole restaurant.
It's so funny. Normally people are we have the nicest people in Cranston, and I'm not just saying that for any reason, but like they'll come up and they'll talk to us, but they're super kind, and we rarely get into fights.
Oh, good.
They don't, but
because that's when the kung fu comes out.
We have the calamari. We can start flinging at people, right? If it ever got real vicious. But
so you really don't get in a lot of awkward. I would think in your position you would get in awkward conversations all the time.
You know what you have to do is you just have to listen. What people want more than anything in the world is to be listened to and to be kind of understood. And
so you just nod your head like, yes, we should burn it all to the ground. I just want to finish my salad.
No, right? Never. But if you think about, there's two famous, now unfortunately deceased, Supreme Court justices, Antonin Scalia and Ruth Bader Ginsburg. They pretty much agreed on nothing. Politically, ideologically, anything. But they were best of friends, and they traveled together and everything.
That's inspirational.
That's what we'd like to see,
Love to see that.
And when you take that example and say, hey, look, I'm not going to agree with you on this. You're not going to agree with me here, but we're still going to go and have a beer later. That's what's missing in government.
That's what's missing on Earth. This is about as close to being involved in a political situation that I'm going to get.
I think you would be really good at it, though.
At politics?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because you like people.
I'm such a horse's ass. I don't know how I would be helpful.
That's the one thing. You can't swear. You can't swear on like Channel 10.
Funny you should say that. When I told my wife I was interviewing you, she said, please, don't swear. How many times have I swore today? Like 5?
Like 4.
Okay, not too bad.
You're doing well.
I haven't used the F word once.
Your wife will be very proud of you.
I don't know about that, but we'll see about that.
No, but it's one of those things too, because you have to catch yourself sometimes.
Yeah, in your world. See, as a comedian, I usually have to worry about it. No. I've had to perform in a few churches with Mike. That's when I had to worry about it. Yeah. I've had to do that.
See, Alan and I love going to comedy shows. That's usually our New Year's Eve thing. We'll go to Comedy Connection, or 2 years ago we were in Vegas for New Year's. We got to see Jay Leno, which was awesome.
I was asked to ask you who's your favorite comedian.
Oh, that was from Mike. Mike asked you, right?
Yeah, how did you know him? Did he tell you he was going to ask me? He's got such a big mouth.
No, but it's such a Mike Murray question.
That is a Mike Murray question.
It's a Mike Murray question. Okay, outside of the love of our lives, Mike Murray.
See, he just wanted you to say Mike Murray,
Yeah,
and
like
you can tell she
many-
doesn't want to say it, but she feels bad because she knows you're the one that asked that arrogant question. But anyways,
It's really,
go ahead.
it's Bill Simus.
It's Bill. Sorry, Mike. Sorry.
We got that there. I'm a big Chris Rock fan.
Okay, Chris Rock is awesome. He's a
Old
legend.
school SNL too, very Adam Sandler back in those
That's
days.
my generation too. I figure we're
born-
probably the same age, probably. or
I'm
similar.
39.
Yeah, I'm 40.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, and so I'm actually gonna go to
The
Vegas
same
for my
age,
40th
and
birthday.
she's her and her husband are like helping fix the state and like run
I'm
politics.
gonna get
and,
you to fix the state.
And I host karaoke. That's where we came up in life. That's what happened.
Are you good at karaoke?
I mean, that's my job, so yeah, I'm really good at
What's
it.
your favorite what can you sing?
What's my
yeah,
go-to
yeah.
is anything by the Beastie Boys.
I thought you were gonna say the Beatles.
The Beatles.
Those
No,
are not-
nobody wants to hear me sing the Beatles. No, I would destroy
Yesterday.
those songs. You would never want me to get involved with
All
that.
right, so tonight when you're with Mike, I want to hear some Beastie Boys wrap it out.
I think we should listen to Mike sing.
That would be
tonight.
more fun.
Tell me, if you had to put together a concert,
Yep.
3 artists or groups, alive
Ooh.
or dead,
Oh, okay. Well, that makes it easier.
who's opening, who's middle, and who's headlining?
Ooh. Okay. Well, so unfortunately, Eddie Van Halen just passed away last night.
Wait,
I
but
would put
live
him in-
or
would-
dead?
Yeah.
This could be someone dead. It doesn't have to be someone alive.
So I'm a huge Beatles fan. So I would go probably Van Halen to open.
Okay.
I would put Beatles right in the middle.
Okay, they're
I've
in the
been
middle.
At the Dish.
Okay.
And then I go back. I'm trying to think. I could go back to like my 80s, 90s roots and everything.
Could be
In Sync, I had the biggest crush on Justin Timberlake.
Let me get this straight. The Beatles are opening for NSYNC.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Wow.
sometimes the second act's the best. So,
Wow.
there's
Well,
something
I'm
for-
sure the Beatles would be honored just to share the stage
With
with
Justin
Justin
Timberlake. Yeah,
and the
that-
rest of the guys who no one remembers their names.
That was
I'm
my
sure
college crush right there.
that John Lennon would be so thrilled
You
to
know,
hear
John
that he's
Lennon,
opening.
John Lennon passed away, and then like 3 hours later, I was born.
Oh, that's interesting. So maybe you're him reincarnated?
Maybe.
That'd be interesting.
Maybe that's why I want him to open for Justin.
Yeah, right. Let me ask you this question. So you got to form a super team.
With
It's
Alan.
you and 4 other people.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's you and 4 other people.
What are
you
we
can
playing?
have Alan with you, sure.
Okay, I mean,
So it's
as long
you
as we're
and
not
Alan.
playing basketball.
No, it's not
Okay, all right.
basketball.
Okay,
You
good.
guys would not do too well
That-
there.
Our combined height gets like to taco.
Yeah,
ball.
maybe like ping pong or
Yeah,
something.
right.
No, it's you and 4 other people.
Yeah.
You just save the world from alien invaders that
Oh,
are
boy.
attacking us.
You know, I wouldn't be
You have to pick a
surprised
team.
if, like, in 2020, aliens landed.
Well,
at
yeah,
this
it could
point.
happen.
I mean, the way this year is going and whatnot.
So this could become true. So it could be anybody, fictional or real,
Okay.
live or dead. It's you and 4 other people.
So I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so I'd probably grab the Ewoks because they were feisty.
How many Ewoks? You only get 4 people, so you get 1
Oh.
Ewok, or you want you and
I
just
don't
a
want
bunch
the
of
Ewok
Ewoks?
that like wraps that rock all the way around him and spins himself down.
He's
I probably
not
don't
very
want
intelligent.
it.
Yeah.
No, I would choose one of the more
One
industrious.
Ewok?
One Ewok.
All right, so you got
Aw,
you, Alan,
an
and
Ewok.
Ewok. So everybody's 5 feet tall or 4 feet tall or whatever an
It's that at
Ewok
this
is.
point.
You got
Let's
3
grab-
very small people.
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
Clutch guy all the time.
Oh yeah,
That was a great documentary, by the way.
awesome.
Awesome. ESPN.
Last Dance was so good.
I don't. They're supposedly doing one on Brady. I don't know
They
how I
should
feel
do
about
one.
that. I think it's too soon. I think it's better
well,
when
as
you
soon
get to
as
look
the
back.
day he retires, it should come out.
When do you think that's going to be?
Hopefully never. That last Sunday, I had so much fun watching him kick ass. I was dancing around my living
See,
room.
I can't even watch it.
You don't like him?
I now that he's just down there, I can't. I'm a big Cam
because
Newton
of
fan
New
now.
England?
Yeah.
See, I don't understand what people's problem is. Like, this guy's done more for New England than anybody.
But he
It's not
left.
his fault. Why do people want to blame him? We don't know. Look, I could be wrong, but to me, it seemed like
Yeah.
for the last couple years, at least 2-3 years, that Bill was trying to push him
I
out to
think-
go younger.
Well, when there was
So
that
how
whole
is it
rumor of the
Tom's fault?
trade with Garoppolo and whatnot like that.
We
It's just
don't
hard.
know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe when The Last Dance Jordan edition comes out,
Yes.
we'll know the truth. But for now, I love Tom. I'm rooting for him.
Are you a Gronkowski fan too?
Hell yeah, Gronk's
Okay.
the man.
I-
You, Michael Jordan, and
Alan
Ewok.
and Ewok.
You get 2 more. It's gonna be a
let's-
great team.
I was about to say.
Everyone's
who else
4
would
feet
save
taller.
the
Then you got
world?
Michael Jordan.
I need a Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman,
Yeah, Wonder
excellent.
Woman.
And you got, I think, 1 more,
No,
right?
you know, I got so Alan.
Yeah, we don't
me
count
and-
Alan.
we're not counting
You
Alan?
and Alan are, when you became married, you became one.
Oh, okay, all right. So
I
we
don't know
have
how
one
they
more
do it at
person.
Buddhist weddings, but in But they say the two become one.
The two become one. You're right.
So
he
you
was
guys are
Taoist before
one.
he became Catholic.
You guys are one.
Yep. All right.
The
Michael
Ewok,
Jordan, Wonder Woman.
You got one more. This is a great team.
Muhammad Ali.
There you go.
Muhammad.
Awesome. That is a great team. That's a great
that's my dream team right there.
I would.
I almost took you, but then I was thinking Muhammad Ali.
I wouldn't be helpful.
Okay. All right.
Muhammad Ali could punch so much harder than I can. Yeah.
He's cooler.
He's a lot cooler than me. Yeah,
no offense.
I mean, he never did a seldom watched YouTube show, but other than that, he did a lot more in life than I did. You are a COVID survivor.
I have the Scarlet C.
You
C,
did it.
COVID.
You conquered. You are like a superhero. You conquered COVID.
You probably had it too.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
So
you just don't. You don't know you're a survivor. You're the closet survivor.
I had a very weird illness in February, so maybe.
Could be. Everybody has it differently. So I lost my smell completely for 3 months.
That didn't happen to me.
Yeah.
You lost your smell for 3 months?
3 months. So Nikki Iannicelli, who runs the most phenomenal restaurant here in Cranston, he sent over some dinner when he knew I was sick. And Alan was like, wow, this smells fantastic. And like right then and there, I knew I lost my smell because I was like, I can't smell anything. And I was like, ah.
When was this?
This was the end of April. So kind of right in the middle where Rhode Island was kind of the height of the pandemic. We were, I work at the hospital, but they were also, I was helping out at a nursing home because their staff was kind of decimated by it. And a few days after, you were there a lot and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I came down with the illness too. I had a funky cough, a bad fever, and I lost my smell, but I was easy, to me, I'm very lucky. Because you're 39 and fighting it, not 90.
What was the symptoms that started to realizing you had it or going to get tested? Like, what was the gap of time, and like, how did you figure, I might have it?
Well, so I woke up one morning with a really weird cough.
Okay.
And I haven't been sick in like 3 years, which is like amazing because those people are like, oh, I've never had the flu or I haven't had it in 9 years. You get a streak going. And then you wake up one morning when you've been around people with a respiratory illness and all of a sudden you start coughing. I happened to be off that day, so I was like, let me go to the CVS because it was pretty easy back then to get, as a healthcare provider, a rapid test over at Twin River. So that was really a godsend because I didn't want to go to work if I knew.
Well, yeah, you don't want to give it.
You don't want to give it to people. So I went and got a test, and like they were like, oh yeah, it might take a few minutes to come back, and like 4 minutes later, they're like, oh yeah, you're positive, and I was like, no, like because you didn't feel horrible yet, you just had a weird cough.
So you didn't feel that bad.
No, it's just when you hear a COVID cough, you'll never forget it. It sounds different.
Ah, that's interesting.
Yeah, so.
Was that literally the worst part about it, is the cough?
Cough. The fevers were pretty bad. The fatigue. Like, I ran a marathon about 6 months before that in London, and I was exhausted walking from my sofa to like the bathroom and back.
So wicked,
wild.
fatigued, weird cough.
Weird fevers, but like not everybody's as lucky. Like one of our friends, Brian Mulhern, his mother just passed away, from COVID.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And so there's certain things too that if people have a lot of underlying conditions, this can kind of throw them over the edge, unfortunately.
But when you have a super immune system and you're running marathons in London, you're ready for it.
You better, I hope I had a better chance.
How long did it last in your system? Like how long did you feel fatigued?
About a month.
Wow, it's a while.
It was kind of pathetic. I remember.
It lingered for a while.
Yeah, I was just like, wow, I'd get home from work when I finally went back. And like, you get home at 5, usually eat a little bit. I watch you and Mike on Wednesday nights.
What could be better than that?
What could be better? I couldn't even stay up for like a half hour. And it would be I was like, wow.
So for you are wiped for a month. And
Yeah,
then how
that's
does it
pretty
work when you get to ease back into society? You just got to keep getting tested and you got to keep testing negative.
So I tested negative, and then you just
they
go
said
back.
you go back to. How did Alan not get it?
So, and I'm not that good at cleaning, so I don't know how. I mean, we're in a modest home, but yeah, we want Alan to get the antibody test.
So you think he didn't get it because you think he might have already had it?
Or like he was just asymptomatic. I mean, our house isn't. We don't live in a mansion, and we were isolating in different parts of the house. But I mean, little virus particles fly, so I don't.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
I mean, he just might have the super duper immune system.
He seems like
too.
he might be a superhero.
If he had a cape, yeah, he would.
Yeah, I would.
We can get him a good cape. We can get him a good cape
We'd
once
like to
he's done
see
being
Alan
mayor.
Fung on a cape for sure. Do you think that shutting down the country was a good move?
Yeah, initially. So one of the things we've learned is that public health and economics don't always go hand in hand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I think the initial shutdown to try to control it was warranted. You saw that all around the world. It worked differently in different parts of the world. Right now, though, kind of easing back in, we're going to have problems if we're not able to open up the restaurants a little bit more soon, because it's November, December is coming around the corner, and we can't be sitting outside under heaters. It's going to be like snowing, and you're trying to have a steak sandwich or something.
So
it's
what
not
do we
gonna
do?
Work.
Do we open? What do we do?
I think there needs to be, we're all looking at the data, but can we open a little bit more? And for the people who might have underlying conditions and whatnot, they might just not be able to be going out to restaurants all the time, and they might have to pull back. And I think there's going to be an element of risk, unfortunately, that you're just going to have to determine for yourself. Okay. But I think it should be your choice. You know what I mean? If it's like you don't feel comfortable going out, then don't do it. It's okay.
Right. My parents don't go anywhere.
Yeah, my mom and dad are the exact opposite.
Oh,
they're like out. We were at Cello's, and there was like it was an adorable couple. They were in like their late 80s and 90s, and they're like, we've survived world wars, like all these type of things, like this isn't taking us. And they're at the bar just, living their life. But that's your own call. Mm-hmm. Life is dangerous. You and I could leave here today, and I could get hit by a car. Okay?
I hope you don't get hit by a car.
I hope I don't get by a car, but like there's risks, and I think if we play it smart and say, hey, look, let's start to slowly open a little bit more and see where, if we do that and all of a sudden there's a ton of cases and we've got other issues, and we got to reevaluate. But we're going to lose a lot of small businesses if we don't start.
Yeah, including mine. The Golden Mike Productions needs to be cherished and celebrated, and we need work, and I need to go to work. So I don't drive my wife crazy.
But that's the other thing too. I mean, just think of all the little things that go on. Just because, when restaurants don't have the capacity, then we don't get to have fun comedy shows like you and you guys
like I'm doing
do.
a little bit of karaoke now, and everything's so strange. Like singers have to stand behind plexiglass, and like.
Do they have to keep a mask on?
Not while they're singing, but like to talk to me at the DJ table and walk around and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's different.
It's very strange.
When Alan and I visit China, everybody wears a mask. That's kind of part of their culture.
They're used to it.
Yeah, they're kind of used to it. And so that's, especially in some parts of Southeast Asia, you've got, they don't do a lot of handshaking. Okay, they do a lot of bowing and
that's what we got to start doing. We got to just stop bowing. That's it. That'll solve everything if we all just stop bowing.
No, but like there's certain parts of the world where there's not as much like hugging and stuff.
Everybody
like
stop touching each other so I can go back to work.
No, it's hard though. This is going to be. I don't, until we have a vaccine, and then everybody takes the vaccine too. I think we all have to.
Does the vaccine scare? See, I was just going to end, but this is an interesting topic. So the vaccine, it's strange. Like I feel like people who used to always knock anti-vaxxers are now like, I don't know if I want to take it.
Well, everybody's nervous because it's like, we haven't proven this vaccine. It's still pretty experimental.
If it came out like right now, so you don't even need it because you already beat COVID. But let's say you didn't and it came out today, would you go take it? Would you wait?
So what you have to know is the ones that are coming out right now have already gone through a few levels of trials.
Right.
Right now we're in like phase 3 on some of them too. One of the vaccines that's coming out, they're doing kind of like a weaker form, so it's 2. You have to take one now and like one in a month, and I think they were doing that to make sure there'd be a lower risk of side effects. From instead of having one super strong vaccine.
Would you do it?
Yeah.
You would do it.
I
would. You're telling the viewers to just go do it.
But you should talk to your doctor. I'm not telling them to do anything.
Oh, okay.
You need the disclaimer at the bottom of this, like I am not a doctor.
You're a medical expert. I'm not. I'm just going to do whatever you tell me to do. That's
you know what?
I
think that if there were some major side effects, we'd see them. Right now. But yeah.
Maybe I'll grow claws like Wolverine. I'd be into that.
Well, then you could be a real superhero.
Exactly.
But
listen.
Go get your flu shot.
I appreciate you doing the show today. This has been very, very fun.
Thank you.
I hope you win.
Thank you so much. And then we'll do it again.
Okay, deal.
All right, we'll do it from the State House next time.
I really am looking forward to this meal that you guys are going to cook for me and Mike.
Okay.
I'm really looking.
You have to put your order in too.
Okay.
All right.
We'll be in touch. Thank you so much for doing the show, Barbara.
Thanks. Have a good day.